Hello and welcome to another CGI Studio workshop. Today I would like to show you how we can make a very simple coffee machine HMI in CGI Studio by importing assets from Figma and Cinema 4D as 2D scenes and also 3D scenes. You can find all of the resources for this workshop in this folder. First, I open CGI Studio and make an empty solution in CGI Studio 3.16 for the Android platform. First, I save the solution. And then I import the fonts I used in my Figma projects. Then I go to Import Smart Importer from Cloud Resources and I import and add the URL of this Figma project, which you can find in the Resources folder, and add it. Import it in your Figma application and then copy the URL here with your access token. And import it in CGI Studio. So let's add some basic values here, like for example the path to the folder where we want to import this Figma. For now I put it in PSD folder. Also I resize the display resolution to match with the Figma frames. Here it is HD. And I just adjust some values because everything is imported with prefix value. And you can see it turn to CGI Studio controls. All of the row and vector data now they are controls. Here also some of the controls I can just manually assign them. They will be detected by AI and here I can apply and also add some basic properties. Like for example, the value can be 100. The format of the text should be decimal value. And if I want to have this sign of percentage, I can copy 2 times the percentage sign. And now I can import it. So as you can see, all of the scenes are imported. And we can modify them. For example, for this list control, I can change the scroll properties. And also add the item in the anchor of the list like this to make sure that we can sweep them correctly to the right and left. And I enable this horizontal direction. And I would like to also make a mask here. I can do that by using the layout. So let's use the same value as our resolution. And then here I don't want to have the scroll bar, so I can collapse it. So that's it. In the preparing scene I have this progress bar. It is now a control and I can change the animation mode to instant. And now I'm able to change the value. What I want is the value of this control and this text value control to be the same. So I can go to this toolbox and search for this forward value behavior. And basically extend this control by adding this forward value behavior. And now I can, in the properties of the forward value behavior, forward the value of progress bar to this text value which is located here. So I can lock the properties and for the target node assign this text value. and then unlock it. Now what I would like to do is check the whole solution in the CGI player until now. But first I make sure that the previous default state machine and scenes are deleted from the solution. So they are just default state machine and scenes. We can delete them, we don't need them anymore. So I delete this default scene. And now I run the player. So you can see now we have an interaction. You can also jump to other scenes and go back because basically we imported the prototype as state machine from Figma and now we have this state machine also in CGI Studio. But before changing the state machine, we can now import 3D objects from Cinema 4D like this coffee cup as an FBX or GLTF model and combine it with these 2D scene in the render target. So let's do that. Now I go to this FBX. From resources, I import the FBX file with animation and the position of camera and light and everything into CGI Studio. So you can see it also contains the animation from Cinema 4D. The same position of the camera and light. So now from this imported scene we make a template scene to edit it later. And also add a template from the animation. So now what I would like to do is add the camera which is imported from Cinema 4D to our render target. So I can just add this camera here. And now I can see from display, camera view and also this scene preparations here. So I can set some value like sequence number. So for this 3D scene I want to disable the clear color buffer and enable the swapping. And also set the sequence number to 1. And now you can see it. These are already combined, so now I can go to the state machine and activate this scene on the CGI player. So you can see in the state machine all of the prototype section imported from Figma as different states for different scenes. And we have adjustments scene, we have preparing coffee scene. And in this preparing coffee scene, instead of just an entry activating the 2D scene, we want to activate also the 3D scene imported from Cinema 4D. So I can add another action in here. Let's add transition request. Let's lock it and add this one. And also when we are in the exit of this state, we can deactivate the same scene. So let's deactivate this scene. The other action I want to do on entry is playing the animation. So I can go over here and set configure and play animation. And then this animation which we imported from Cinema 4D can be assigned here. And now if I jump to CGI Player, let me check if I don't forget anything. Here we just set the render targets correctly the sequence number, so I enabled all of the cameras. And everything else looks good. Let's start the player. Looks good. And you can change the different control values. And here I can start the animation. So at the moment, as you can see the imported animation, does it match with the progress bar? We can extend the imported speed of the animation to be matched with the value of the progress bar. So we can animate the progress bar as well in the same track of animation. So that's why we made this animation template to edit it later. Now I can go to the animation design section. And then I can here go to the preparing scene. Going to check for this progress bar, I can just drag it here, and then for the property of this progress bar you want to change the value. Should be linear. So basically we want to animate the value of this progress bar to be matched with the coffee cup animation. So in the coffee cup animation, the last keyframe is at 10 seconds. So I can do the same things. So it is 10,000 milliseconds for 10 seconds. And the first value is 0 and the last value is 100. So now the value of the progress bar matches with the coffee cup. Now I can start the player. So now they are perfectly matched with each other. You can also cancel it, go back to the previous scene. You can also make some animation intro for this 2D scene the same way. So you can add another animated property. You can create a locomotion for the first scene. And then in the state machine, in the first state, you can trigger this animation. So that's everything I want to show you for today. You can just export this asset by generating assets from library. So you can export this asset bin file here and then copy this file to the SD card of your Android device. And you can then use from the same folder I shared with you the Android CGI Player Launcher APK. You can install this APK file on your Android device and run this bin file which you generate here, so you run the assets. Just copy it in the SD card of your device, and with this application you can run it on your target. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this workshop.